Applestosen. It's Dr. Bob here with another health and vitality tip of the week. So this week's topic is anxiety. Anxiety is something that affects 40 million people on a regular basis. Unfortunately, most people just medicate themselves to try and get out of that anxious state. What happens is our brain starts to go into these feedback loops and we actually create more of a hardwired stress response. So if something happens to us initially, like an impact or a trauma, be it mentally, emotionally, physically, a part of our brain called the amygdala records that. And our memory and our emotional response is the strongest memory that we have in our body. So what we need to do is we need to see what triggered that response initially and how we can work backwards. The challenge is if we keep firing that off and have those fear factors, that fight or flight response kicks in. That raises our blood pressure, it lowers our heart volume rate, it reduces the oxygen to our body, it takes vital blood supply away from our organs, and that anxious anxiety state creates a fight or flight response that becomes hardwired day in and day out. Two things that I highly recommend is if you're in that anxious state, first ask yourself a question. Use your higher brain rather than that lowered emotional brain and think, is this really a stress right now, or is this really a threatening response? And sometimes it's just a perceived response and you can kick out of that immediately. You can also bring your breathing down to your diaphragm. That kicks you out of that fight or flight response and puts you into what's called parasympathetic part of our nervous system. The thing that I recommend highly on a regular basis is making sure that your nervous system is in proper alignment. Obviously, adjustments to the spine kick you out of that sympathetic nervous system response. It's one of the best things to do to break that pattern. And then your home response, meditation in the morning, calming down, closing all those files in the brain that just keep open day in and day out, and also putting in the evening if you had a stressful day, just close all the files so that you can actually let your brain process the information appropriately. Those things done on a regular basis reduce the stress response, reduce the chance for anxiety attacks, and lower the likelihood that you'll be on medication for a long-term period of time. At Chiropractic USA, our main focus is to not take care of your health with drugs or surgery, but to show you tips that you can become stronger and healthier day in and day out. So until next week, it's another health and vitality tip. Signing out, Dr. Bob. Applestosen.